Welcome to Between the Covers. Wow. We have a rowdy audience tonight, and we have a fabulous show in mind for you. I'm Stephanie Larkin, an author and publisher at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company that works with authors of all genres. So if you have a book in your head, or maybe 100 pieces of loose leaf shoved in a drawer, just give us a call, visit redpenguinbooks.com, and unleash your inner author. I am so thrilled to have been joined by two authors on the couch and one across the country who have unleashed themselves. Across the country, we have visiting author Sandra Lee, and right here on the couch, we have Anthony Sciarrotta and Rhonda Mako. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And to make it even more exciting, it's Rhonda's birthday. Woo! I see this gorgeous. Okay, we need to get this on screen here. And since we have a huge audience, do you think we can sing? Ready, set, and happy birthday to you.
This is wonderful.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rhonda. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Thank you. Oh, gorgeous cake. We've got some champagne. We're just doing it tonight. So welcome to the show. What can be more exciting than writing books? Eating cake and drinking champagne.
Got it.
That's as good as it gets. So is it exciting? This is your first book for both of you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me how you got your start in writing.
So I'm an old soul. I'm 24, but I feel like I have the mind of a 50-year-old.
And I know a lot of 50-year-olds who have the mind of 24-year-olds.
You know what? I have gotten that. A lot of people have said that to me. But I even drive a 78 Cadillac. I'm all about the era.
Because writing doesn't pay, so he drives a really old car.
Exactly. But my book started out as a screenplay. My dream was always to be in film. And I kind of wanted to make my own version of When Harry Met Sally.
And now here he is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I love that.
Thank you. I call my book the Italian version of When Harry Met Sally.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So screenplay turned author. And Rhonda, how did you get into writing?
Oh boy. I've been writing actually all my life. I started out in high school and I just loved it. Went to college. Ended up getting a scholarship to a creative writing course.
Wow. Is there like a high school teacher out there that we have to give a shout out to?
There's a few.
There's a few, okay. I often give a shout out to my high school teacher. In one of my books, Sister Grace Avila, if you're watching this show, you know that this is all for you. So if you have any teachers you want to give shout outs to, they love hearing that.
I know. There's so many people that I really have to thank who encouraged me to just continue writing. So it's a long list. So
There's
let
a
me think
long
about
list.
it.
Okay, we'll let her think about that.
I'll
We'll
have
let her
to think
about
about it.
that. Well, you're obviously not the first people in the world to write a book. Do you love to read too?
Absolutely.
I'm not the biggest reader in the world.
You know, Stephen King
I'm
says
not
you gotta
the biggest
read.
reader. I know.
You gotta
I
read.
follow his Twitter, and he says it every other day. But I'm not the biggest reader. I have to really force myself to.
Okay. What are you reading now? You're reading something, I hope.
I'm reading The Kite Runner.
Oh, well, good choice.
I'm about 5 pages in.
5 whole pages.
I just started it.
He started
over coffee.
3 months ago.
Exactly, yeah.
3 months ago, and he's 5 pages in.
I'm reading another book, too, called How to Think Like Winston Churchill. I picked it up in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
He's one of my
that one he
favorite
started
figures.
6 months ago, and he's up to page
Yes,
10.
exactly. You're not wrong.
Well, we're going to get you reading more. We have to do whatever we can do to get you reading more. How about you? Are you reading anything right now?
Yes, I'm reading The Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison.
Oh,
it's a wonderful, wonderful book.
I did not read that.
It's a wonderful book. You have to read it. I'm also reading, sometimes I read 2 books at the same time.
Like Anthony.
You just go through 1 page at a time.
You know, it just depends on what my mood is. But the other book I'm reading is Where the Crawdads
Where the Crawdads Sing,
I
yes.
love that book. It's a wonderful book. I just love it.
That book has such imagery that I'm actually sweaty and thinking I'm in, the humid South Carolina coastline.
And that's what I like about it. I love books that have imagery, and I can just imagine or just picture
Yeah.
where they are. I love that.
At first, when I was reading it, I thought, oh, I want to go there. And after 50 or so pages, I thought, oh, I'm glad
He's
I'm
like,
not there.
no.
Because it's so hot and
I know,
humid
I know.
there. It is so hot and humid. Well, we're going to get you to read.
I know When the Crawdads Sing is on my list.
It's on his
Everyone's
list.
telling me to
Yeah,
read it.
it's-
It's
Okay,
not
well, I
something
have
love
a
it.
copy if you need to borrow one. We need
You're
to
really
get
pushing
you.
me.
I am pushing you. Me and Stephen King, we're going to
Yeah,
push
I
you
know,
to
I know.
read. Well, I hope that all of our viewers are readers, and after you have read a book and maybe shared it with those who need to be reading books, if you're looking for somebody else to love your book, please consider the Book Fairies. The Book Fairies are right here on Long Island, and we love supporting them because they collect over 50,000 books every single month. The books are distributed to school districts and teachers who unfortunately can't afford to put books in their school libraries. They're also given to people who are in prison or other people who are not able to afford books, and then get sent overseas, and over 50 libraries in Africa are supplied by the Book Fairies. So you can go to thebookfairies.org to see when they are collecting. Or if you bring your books here on a Wednesday night to the show, you'll get a glass of wine. I would be happy to bring the books. I have a trunk full right now because I've got to drive down there. So please don't forget them. They will be thrilled to have any books you have. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to slice up some cake and pop some champagne, and we will be right back. Thanks.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thank you for joining us. You see how many slices of cake disappeared on that commercial? If you're hungry, come on down to the studio tonight. You've got about 50 minutes to get here, but please bring books with you so we can donate them. Please welcome our first guest via Skype, because she's too far away to visit in here in the studio, Sandra Lee. Sandra, nice to have you.
Hey, I'm kind of jealous I'm not getting any of the cake.
I hope she appears soon. She's so far away we can't even see her. Oh, there she is. Hi.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you so much for
Sorry.
joining us. I wish I could give you some cake. We have lemon cake and red velvet here.
I know. I was just saying. I'm kind of sad that I'm all the way over here in Florida and dealing
Okay,
with my
but you're
schizophrenic
warm
weather
and we're not.
instead of up there enjoying cake.
And we're enjoying cake. Exactly. Well, next time you're in New York, could you please visit the set and we'll give you some cake?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to visit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you've been quite a prolific writer of late.
Yes.
In fact, so
Well,
prolific
actually,
that I
it's
put the
not so
wrong
much
book up
of
on the
late.
website because there were too many of them.
Oh, I know. But my first one was published in 2002.
Oh, okay.
So I've been published for like 18 years. I've been telling stories since I could talk, and writing since I could write, and just I I get an idea and it will not leave me alone. So I have no choice but to sit down and go, okay, let's get this out, and sit there and I'll type and get the story out. Usually really late at night when everybody's asleep and the house is quiet.
Very nice. I love the way you describe them as stories, because I read your most recent book and it is absolutely a story.
You finished Shift
Yes,
in 2 days?
you sent it. Yeah, well, you sent it to me.
I know it's so big. It's the.
It is big. I was going to tell you that. It's a big book. I mean, I didn't get the book because so that Sandra could send it to me. She sent it to me via digital file, so I could tell you how many megabytes it is.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I was almost surprised that you kept it in one big book. Most lazy authors would have split that into 3 and had a whole series out of it.
I tried, but the way the story flows, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I
Publisher
understand that.
wants to go, okay, here, we'll break it here, we'll break it here. Okay, if not, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. There were no actual spots that I would say, here's
Right.
where it would end. It just kept going. It was kind of like, and then you couldn't put it down because it kept going. That was the point, right? You wanted me to be chained to my chair.
Well, yeah, I had a friend of mine who she got to be one of my first beta readers, and I asked her when she was done. I'm like, so what'd you think? And this was her reaction. She's like, well, give me more.
Yeah.
When's the next one coming out? I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to write the other stories that are kind of in there, but who knows?
Well, that's true. You can branch out now in a bunch of different directions.
There were a couple of other characters in there whose stories I eventually one day want to tell.
Oh, good. I love that. I love to hear that. So that's your most recent book, but you said you've been writing since 2002. So how many books have come in that period?
This is number 6.
6 books. Wow.
3 of them came pretty much back to back.
Really?
My first book, Love in Ruins, that's my vampire story. It starts in Pompeii just before the eruption and ends up in Jacksonville just after the century changeover.
Okay.
And ends up, the catchphrase on that is when your main character dies in the first 10 pages, where does the story go from there? Literally to hell and back again. It took me 11 months to write and 11 months to sell. And unfortunately, my brother died just before it went to press.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he was one of those people that he never doubted that I could do it. I just was sad that he didn't actually get to see it.
Yeah.
But the other ones just sort of, I can't stop.
You can't stop, huh?
Once I get started, I can't, and then I'll go like 3 years. I wrote for like 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, okay, this story's finished. Do you want, no, we're not done. We're going to write it. Okay, I'll write this one down. I'll write this one down. And about halfway through the 3rd book, that's when my muse says, you know what? Nope, I'm done. I want to do art now. And that was it for like 2 or 3 years. And then I got the bug again. And I picked up a story that I had started working on. And next thing I know, I've got 2 books and a 3rd one on the way. Because Lady of the Mist and The Gloaming are part of my fairy series.
Okay.
And they're, I kind of enjoyed, them. There is a 3rd book. It started, I had to set it down because I've got another series it's a trilogy, not a series. It's actually takes place between chapter 3 and chapter 4 of Love in Ruins.
Really? Very cool.
Wait, because about chapter 3 and 4 is when the eruption occurs, and I do my time jump by about 2,000 years, and some of the characters you meet, you hear some of their stories.
Yes, I love when something goes into the backstory of the characters, a little side note.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
I try to stay as historically accurate as I can. Mm-hmm. Considering that I didn't live back then, I have to rely on archaeologists and everything else, and I do my best with my research, which is very intensive.
Have you gotten to visit any of the places?
No, sadly.
Oh.
The farthest out of the country I have ever gotten was Jamaica, and that was for a honeymoon, 30 years ago.
Right, and there's no volcano there.
No, there's no volcano there. I want to see Pompeii one day. There's a lot of places I want to go to. But one of my daughter's favorite books, The Speaker, is about a Native American girl who can speak to animals. And I set that in Canada. I've never been to Canada. I got close once, but I never actually got to cross the
Oh,
border.
no, Canada you can get to not badly. Get in the car.
Well, yeah, but
Keep going north till you're cold.
There's the ability that I kind of lacked. But I based it loosely off of the campus, off of like Florida State, where I went to college. And I've had people from Canada contacting me through the little social medias and like going, "You set this in my campus, didn't you?" And I'm like,
really?
I've never been to your campus.
That's funny.
And
That's
apparently I described it so well that they're like going, "Oh yeah, no, I know exactly where this is. But I've never been there."
Now, Sandra, I put your website on our website for the show, and it's your
Thank you.
art.
Oh, well, I'm working on getting my writing website up and
Okay.
running. I do some of my stuff with the books there, but for the most part, that is mostly just my artwork.
Boy, I love this, a writer and an artist.
Yeah, well, I got to keep the muse occupied when she's tired of writing.
I understand that. Well, can you do me a huge favor for our viewers here? When you have launched your writing website, would you send it along to me so I can add it and send it out to all of our
Absolutely.
viewers?
Absolutely.
So tell me, what's next on your agenda with writing? You mentioned a couple of different projects, a trilogy that's coming up. Is that what's on your computer right now?
That's what's on my computer right now. I've got all 3 books started, but there's only a couple of chapters in the last book. The second book, I've got like 10. The one I'm working on right now, I'm on chapter 16, but I'm doing a lot of research.
Okay.
The first books, they all take place in the 1100s.
Love that.
And one of them takes place in York, in England. One of them takes place in Venice, Italy. And the third one, I believe, is set in Chartres, France.
Okay.
And each has its own cast, different, but they're all tied together by this event that is carrying through. And the first one is taking me a lot of time because I'm researching Templars. I'm researching the Hospitaller Knights and doing a lot of research on Islam because my 3 main characters is a Knight Templar, a Hospitaller, and a Sufi mystic who is mostly the main character because everything else kind of happens around her. But it's one of my vampire trilogy. It's going to be a vampire trilogy.
There's a lot of research that goes into this. Listen to that.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, for all of our lovers of, everything from vampires to Sufi mysticism, and I adore Venice, so I think I need to grab all those books. So when are you scheduled to be coming out with these? Do you have any thoughts?
I have no clue.
No clue. Depends when the muse tells you, right?
I'm sorry, repeat?
I said it depends when the muse tells you that they'll be ready.
When I keep getting, I'll go to research and I fall down rabbit holes.
Oh, I get that. I get that. Well, do me a favor
But I've
and
learned a
please
lot.
keep us posted so when the next trilogy comes out, I can let everyone know, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us and welcome, and we'll get your web address soon and enjoy the warm weather. Happy writing.
Hopefully, thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
And we'll be right back after this commercial. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you.
Are you interested in writing, but you're unsure how to get started? Or perhaps you're already an author, but want to hone your skills and receive supportive yet constructive feedback? Welcome to WebWritersRetreat.com. Developed to help once and future authors like you to gain from positive and supportive criticism of your submissions from other writers and our professional staff, push forward through personal timetables and writing exercise sessions, sharpen your skills through group coaching and Q&A sessions with literary experts, receive practical resources such as templates, downloads, links, online courses, and free ebooks. Benefit from book reviews and opportunities to join a beta team to enrich yourself as well as other authors. Save with special discounts for publishing services and online courses, social media, and email marketing, and a whole lot more. Visit WebWritersRetreat.com and turn your writing dreams into reality.
Hey everybody, this is Motorcycle Mike, the personal injury lawyer. In addition to representing injured motorcyclists for over 30 years now, during that same time, I've represented countless car crash victims and construction workers injured on construction sites. If you need my assistance, go to my website, motorcyclemikeesq.com. I will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks for joining us. Anthony Sciarrotta, did I say that right?
Sciarrotta.
Sciarrotta.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Anthony Sciarrotta has his debut novel, but I hear there are at least 2 more on the way, set in Queens, New York in the 1970s. So all of you 1970s folks, you said it was as to compare to Harry Met Sally, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So if you ever lived in a house that looks like this, because I sure did, you want to be grabbing Finding Forever. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So I know you're an old soul and you're from Queens,
Yes, I am.
but what inspired your characters and the story itself?
So the main male character is loosely based off of me. And the main female character is kind of based off of a combination of, I'm going to say, Diane Keaton in Annie Hall, Meg Ryan in When Harry Met Sally, and Olivia Newton-John in Grease.
Oh, that's quite a combo.
Yeah. Those are all like my childhood crushes, I guess.
Oh,
but,
okay, okay. No Farrah Fawcett in there.
Yeah. Well, that's
be the
next.
next
That's
No,
the next book, okay.
That's next.
And you grew up in Queens. I know you're a St. Francis Prep graduate
Yes, I am,
and
a proud
Queens
Prep
College.
graduate.
Yeah, you're a Queens boy. So we have that in common. So all these places that you mentioned in the book, that's where you're eating.
Yeah, I even mentioned my whole entire life I went to London Lenny's. It's a restaurant in Rego Park.
Sure.
The best baked clams you'll ever have in your whole entire life. Promise you.
Better than Lenny's Clam Bar in
Better than Lenny's Clam Bar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to go and check it out now. So you had some muses yourself for who was inspiring you in the character. How about the storyline?
So the storyline, I kind of like, since I'm an old soul, like I kind of grew up in a pop culture bubble.
Okay.
So I watched movies with my dad as a kid, and they were all like really old 70s and 80s movies. And I really didn't pay attention to the pop culture of my own era, which would be the early 2000s. So I kind of felt a little lonely almost, and I wanted to place myself in a time period where I thought I would be more comfortable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about that. Now, when you're writing, because, fiction writers, I just love the way they work. Do you plan everything in advance, or do you just let it go where it goes?
So I like to feel a certain way when I write. I know that it sounds very cliche, but we were actually just talking about it. Like, you have to feel like you can write. Like, I can feel when something's going to be good and when something's going to be crap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I could totally feel the the
Now,
2 different kinds.
Is there anything that you can do with your scenario, where you are, what time of day, to get it to be better?
Yes.
Tell us.
I'm going to say 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Have my coffee. Everyone's asleep. It's pitch quiet, and I can do my work.
Oh, you're agreeing
That's
with
where
this.
I'll get the most work done. 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I was hoping that the 2 of you would inspire our, aspiring writers out there, but they're hearing this and they're like,
Yeah, I know. Most
They're like
writers are
5
night
o'clock in the
owls.
morning?
So,
Yeah, it's true.
well, it depends. I know a lot of writers who like to wake up, write during the beginning part of the day, and then put it to bed and have, the rest of the day. I happen to be a night owl, but that's just, my body clock. You know, but 5 o'clock in the morning, you're up and you are writing.
I try to do that. I'm not always up, but I definitely try to do that because that's when I get my best work done.
Now, how about writer's block? Do you ever feel like you sit there in front of the computer and say, I have no idea, or
I have writer's block right now.
do you really?
So not right now, but I'm working on my third novel, and I'll give an exclusive to the show. It's called Eden. I haven't told anyone that yet.
Oh, and you just told
It's called
1,000
Eden.
people.
Yeah. And it's not contracted with any publisher yet. I'm about 52 pages in, and I currently have writer's block.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you have writer's block, that means that the storyline, at least for you, has stopped.
It's not so much a storyline because one of the tricks that I like to do is I have a marble notebook full of ideas. So
Okay.
it could be anything. So let's say that I'm watching a movie and I like a quote from a movie. I'll write it down and then I'll look back on it later and I kind of get an idea. Same exact thing with names of songs. I have Spotify playlists. Music and film plays a really large role in how fast I work.
Oh, okay. Now, do you write to music playing in the background or not at all?
I actually really like to write to classical music.
Really?
I know that there have been a bunch of studies that say that does help you write better. But I just tried it on like a hunch one day, and I was like, let me see if this is accurate, and it really was. Like I felt so much more
Wow.
at ease.
Now, it's funny because last week on the show we had two of our authors. Both were inspired watching National Geographic Channel. They would put the TV on, Nat Geo in the background, and somehow they were writing. I have no idea how that worked out, but that was last week, and today we're up to classical music.
I
Do you listen to
can't write with the
classical
TV.
also, or?
I do. I listen to classical, jazz, soul.
Oh, she's mixing
I
it up.
diversify.
And you're not listening to music of the 70s.
I do.
Okay.
I do, but only in the car.
Oh.
So I come up with a lot of ideas when I'm in the car too, and then I'll scramble to tell Siri to take it down for me.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was thinking if you were going for like an inspiration, if listening to the music of the era was going to help.
That definitely helps too, but I kind of switched over because the first book only takes place in the 70s, the second book does not.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of strayed away from that.
Oh, really?
I went a
Where-
little bit more contemporary. I'm going to say early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What pushed you into modern times there?
Change of pace. I always like to challenge myself.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Well, that is a challenge, especially since you said you, during your own childhood, weren't really paying attention to pop culture.
Nope.
So now you have to do research, like Sandra, she's researching Pompeii, and you're researching the 2000s.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Now, when you were doing the 1970s in this, were you researching that as well?
I was more talking to people than actually researching.
Okay.
So I always love to talk to people that are older than me. I feel like they have so much wisdom that I can't grasp yet. Mm-hmm. And I think I ruffled the mic. And you know, I love to hear what people, what they wish that they did, what they wish that they didn't do, what they regret, if they had a dream that they didn't like, that didn't pan out. All those things are so interesting. And if you look at the trajectory of people, like as time goes on, that idea changes constantly. And I don't know why I'm really stuck with the idea of people in the, I'm going to say like the late 60s to late 80s, like their idea set and mindset kind of speaks to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's because that's what I've been around my whole life, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you said you were influenced a lot when you were growing up on almost like your parents' era.
yeah, really.
Now, how about do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have a brother, Vincent.
Okay. Is he like you, an old soul? Or?
Totally not.
Really?
Polar opposite. We're polar opposites.
Has he read the book?
I think he read about maybe
5 pages
yeah.
like you.
Yeah, so no one in my family, we are not readers. We are not
Really?
readers. Yeah.
So your
nobody.
family hasn't read this book yet?
My mother's almost done with it now. It's been about 2.5 years. Not even kidding.
Mom.
Don't. She's probably gonna kill me. She's probably gonna kill me for saying that, but
2.5 years. He sent it to me
Wow.
last week,
Yeah.
you know? Oh my gosh, you really aren't readers. How did a family of non-readers give birth to a writer?
I always journaled.
Really?
my whole entire life, I loved writing down all of my experiences. And I really wanted to look back on it one day. Like, let's say recently I read my 5th grade journal, and it said I wanted to write a book, which I didn't even know. And it said that I wanted to star in a sequel to Grease. I don't know why.
Look
yeah,
at
but
that.
even back then, well, one of those things happened. So I wrote a book. I don't know about the sequel to Grease, but
you knew.
yeah,
You knew
I
even
always
back
knew.
then what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've got a very big event coming up tomorrow, so please
Yes.
share that so we all.
Tomorrow is my first book signing and a little Q&A at Barnes & Noble in Manhasset,
What time is that going to be?
7 p.m.
Okay, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Barnes & Noble Manhasset is on Northern Boulevard, right by Lord and Taylor, isn't
Yes.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
About a block down.
Okay, about a block down, 7 p.m. Do you have a book flyer or anything that we can post on our website and send out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please send that my way.
I will. Thank you
7
so
p.m.
much.
tomorrow for a book signing for Finding Forever, a 1970s love story. Well, he's got so many books on the way, I think he's going to get famous. So I'm going to get my
really hope.
signed copy now, and we'll be right back. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Sharon Gillette, and I'm the owner of One Stitch at a Time. I've been doing this since I'm 9 years old, but it became full-time when my husband was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. And I never went back to work because I wanted to take care of him. I feel what makes me stand out is that I care. I take a personal interest in your project. I take the time to find your correct fit and treat you like a friend, not just a customer. So whether it's embroidery, making patches, printing shirts, doing alterations and repairs, or bringing your ideas to life, you can call me at 631-428-1245 or visit my website at www.onestitchatatime.co.
Let's go. Let's go. No, I've plans with her. I'm sorry, but that's the deal.
A little bit closer, a little bit to the left. Yes, leave your beard, please. Okay, there we go. 3, 2,
Daddy,
1.
Daddy! Daddy. Ash, Mommy.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we knew we had a birthday today, but we also have a book launch because Rhonda Mako's A Yearn to Discern was published about 6 hours ago.
Yes.
This is literally hot off the presses.
Amazing. That's amazing.
This is so hot off the presses that they're ARC copies. So that's how hot off the presses they are. And I really hope that our studio audience is hungry because we have a little surprise for you too. We got you a Yearn to Discern cake.
Oh my God. That is gorgeous. Oh,
So yes,
thank
this is what
you.
your cover looks like in a cake.
That is so nice.
So we better all be hungry. I'm
Yes.
going to snap a picture
Oh
of
my
you with that.
goodness.
So hold that. So now once we made a cover, now we have a cake, and yes. So we have to keep eating here, folks. We are going to be eating and eating and eating.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
So congratulations. How does it
Thank
feel
you.
now that this is literally day one? Literally, it's her birthday and it's day one.
not even a full day.
Not even a full day.
I'm relieved. but also excited.
Well,
It's
I hope excited.
Such a range of emotions. I don't really know.
So tell us about the process and the writing and the hard parts and the easy parts. And,
Sure.
And I'll slice cake because that's the easy part. Eating cake is the easy part.
Let's see. For this particular book, I don't think there were any hard parts.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
This book was written in 6 months. It was just something that I just believe God put on my heart to write. I've been talking about discernment for years. I've taught it in my classes, and it was just time for me to finally make it into a book and really let people understand that discernment is really something we should all be
I love
doing
the
every
way
day.
you say the word discernment. It just rolls off your tongue. And, you know, I have said, when people have asked, you know, oh, who's going to be on the show? And I said, Rhonda, and she wrote a book about discernment. And they kind of look at me and tilt their head and say, discernment? What exactly is that? Right. and my answer, after reading your book, is it's everything. It is absolutely everything, because discernment is the fact that the power of the direction of your life lies with the decisions that you make.
Absolutely.
That we are not the product of our circumstance, we are the product of our decisions.
That's right.
And that's what discernment is. It's really looking at decisions. And reading your book all the way through from the fact that the power was always in Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
That's right.
You know, all she had to do was click her heels.
That's
she
right.
had the power, and we have the power.
Right,
And
absolutely.
that's what the book is all about, is the power. And you broke it up into discernment in relationships and in your business and in your life. And I had no idea. And as I said, now that I tell other people, they say, "Oh, you're right." but this is their first look. Discernment. Like, I've heard
true.
that word, but you know, do you get that reaction when you say
Everybody.
discernment? Everyone kind of looks at you like,
Well, I almost quiz everyone. I'll say, it's about discernment, and then they'll give me the look.
That was me about 5 minutes ago. Literally,
You see?
about 5
Everyone
minutes
does that.
ago.
They go,
So I'm not gonna lie.
And then I'll say, do you know what discernment is? But the interesting thing is, everyone actually knows at least something about discernment.
Right.
And then when I explain it further, they're like, oh, it's like an aha moment.
and then they realize that it's everything.
it's everything.
It is,
really is.
you know, but they don't, at first they're like,
Right.
that sounds like something I don't want to think about.
It sounds cerebral.
Yes,
That's what
it
I
does.
think. It does.
It sounds very cerebral, but when you realize it's actually the blueprint to your whole life.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And so that's what I tell people, you know, like I said, discernment is one of those things where it's kind of surrounding everyone. But if you had to describe something you did when you made a decision, it's not the word that you would ever use.
That's true.
That's
You would
what
say I
issue
weighed the
is.
pros and cons.
Right. Oh, yeah. And
You know, I tried to, you know, flip a coin.
right. I remember something, you know, in my past, or I did this, I did that, but
Right.
you would never say discernment.
Discernment.
Or I discerned my way through it. People don't say that.
Now, as you were writing the book, because you were reflecting upon your own life and experiences,
Sure.
any kind of aha moments? Did you look back and say,
Oh, boy.
ooh,
Oh, yes.
yeah?
The book is full of aha moments.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the other part about discernment is not only do I teach it in my courses, but I feel as if it's the story of my life. You know, I feel like I've discerned through a lot of different dangerous situations, pitfalls. You know, you go through the path and there's a snake over here, and there's something over there, and I was able to navigate my way through that, and I owe it all to discernment. So it was about time for me to write this book and really put it into words about what I've gone through. And it's no different than what other people have gone through. But everyone has a story.
Yes.
And hopefully that story includes discerning, because when you look back on your life or you say, I'm not getting the results that I would like, the question is, why not?
Right.
What are you doing or not doing that is making you go down the path that you're going?
Right.
We
So
have to-
empowering.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so empowering
love
to
it.
realize that it's all you.
It's all in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as you were going through your own life, and I like the way you spoke as if you were avoiding the snake in the, you know, do you have a little sixth sense on how you're dealing with things? Or have you always in your life had your antennas up?
Well, that's an interesting question because one of the things I talk about in the book is that we all have a core of who we are. So some of our cores are a little more discerning than others. You have people who are very nice. You have people who, may not be as trusting as others. Or we have just personality traits. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, some people are more, sociable. Or those things also play a role in your initial ability to discern. But then we have to further develop it, through experiences, environment. A lot of different things play factors into how well you discern or not discern.
Do you think that somebody who has been, I'll say, making poor choices their entire life, can they change?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all have the power to change. The question is, are we actually going to do the work in order to change?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people say they want to,
right,
but then they don't actually want to do it.
Right, right. And then some of us, we blame everybody except the right body in terms of why we have, whatever circumstances we tend to be in. We don't do enough self-reflection, and I include myself in that as well. We all should periodically self-reflect on our lives, take stock of who we are, understand the type of person we are, what are our triggers, what makes us happy, what makes us sad, take stock in the people that we surround ourselves with. All those things are important for you understanding why you're doing what you're doing and whether or not you need to make changes.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
You are so right on how important it is. I mean, look at the world we live in. If everybody actually discerns things, I think a lot of things would be different.
Absolutely. It really would be.
An awful lot that's different. Now, besides being a person of wisdom, you're also a mom.
Absolutely.
How have you passed this on to your children?
Well,
do you think they're good discerners? They're
here,
excellent.
aren't they?
They're listening.
Well, one is here. One is actually overseas in London right now. But
they do have TV in London.
She might be watching right now. But yes, I even talk. There's a chapter in the book that talks about children and discernment.
Yes.
Children discern. They do, but they do it for different reasons than adults. I mean, they mostly discern for selfish reasons because that's what children do. I mean,
right.
It's understandable. But we have to teach them and have teachable moments so that way they can discern for appropriate reasons so they can make right choices when they get older as well.
I think also, and you alluded to this in the book, we have to trust them.
Absolutely.
I think that societally, I don't think that we trust children enough when they say something, when they feel something. Quite frankly, I think that's one of our problems as adults is we don't trust that sixth sense that we have.
That's right.
Because we've never trusted it as a child. I'll say to people, even my own daughter, who's also in London at the moment, if you're walking down a dark alleyway and you're feeling like, don't do it. Like that sense, trust it. Your intuition is, that feeling, which could be coming just a sixth sense, but it could be coming from experience and knowledge and other things. But I think that children often are told, squash that.
Right, squash that. And that's a mistake. I mean, I also talk in the book about the difference between discernment and intuition. There is definitely a difference.
There's a difference. Talk about that a little bit.
So, I mean, they're both internal elements that we have in terms of, like you said, when you get that feeling that, maybe I shouldn't go this route or maybe I should stay home today or something. And it's usually for a reason. And sometimes we just try to suppress that, which we should not. The same thing with discernment. So intuition is about a feeling that you can't really explain or rationalize through, but discernment is actually the opposite. Discernment is based on information you actually have at your disposal that you either choose to ignore or somehow, some way you missed it. But the information was there.
Right.
It's not hiding, but there's something going on in your life that makes you miss the information that sometimes is like staring you right in the face.
Oh, how many times is it staring us right in the face?
Oh my goodness.
Now, are we really missing it or are we blinded? By choice.
By choice, right. Blinded, most of the time it's blinded by choice.
Right.
Again, there's depending upon what's going on in your life, you might just miss it. But usually emotions tend to be the culprit as to why we miss the information. So you have information that you have available to you, and then you have emotions over here. We're imperfect people. I can't tell you that I always... Right, we're emotional people. I can't tell you that I always act on information and not emotions.
Right.
That's not realistic. But we do have to think, better about our choices and process the information to make a decision. And then if you decide that, I'm going to lead by emotion after you made the analysis, that's one thing. But a lot of times, most of the times, we don't do that.
You're absolutely right. I think
and
that we are
that's the
very much
problem.
emotional beings.
Right. And I include myself in that too. But it's a work in progress. But you at least have to understand that and, go from there.
I love that. Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yeah,
always.
none of us are perfect.
That's right.
We are just a work in
Just a work in
progress.
progress.
Well, one of the things I loved in the book, I don't know if you could see this on television, but there are lots of blank lines here.
Yes.
Because since discernment is a process, and it's something that you need to reflect upon.
Absolutely.
There are plenty of places that we need to stop and ask questions and write things down.
Absolutely.
Because just reading about it, could go right in your head and just right out the other side.
Absolutely.
So definitely something to reflect on.
Absolutely.
So, are there some key moments in your life that you think people need to discern more than others?
Absolutely. I mean, it just depends on the situation, but there's different moments in life where, I talk about what I call the discernment spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So on one end of the spectrum, it's missed opportunities that you might miss out if you don't discern. On the opposite end of that spectrum, it could be the difference between life or death.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there's a lot more in
So
between.
let's discern properly, please.
Right. So that's why it's important. So it depends on the situation, but there are times, yes, when you really do have to think about discerning and making those decisions count.
So tell us what types of people should be buying a Yearn to Discern? I know the answer is everyone, but you tell me.
Everyone, but it's more of a leadership. It's developing the ability. Like I said, everyone has the ability to discern. I mean,
Right.
unless there's some type of developmental disabilities or things of that nature, but we all have that ability.
Right.
So I think if your decisions, if you have poor decisions that you're making, you're not getting results that you need. If you are complaining about things and you're just not. There are people in your life. Sometimes you have to analyze a lot of different things
Right.
to figure out. So, I
get that.
I don't know if there's a category of
It's
people.
not really
I think,
a category.
No.
Well, let's put it this way. If you would like to take your life to the next level,
There you
and
go.
if you want to live your best life, because your best life will come with you taking control of your decisions
Right.
and making wise ones, then please pick up a Yearn to Discern. It's available at booksellers everywhere and at yearntodiscern.com. How's that
right.
for everyone?
That's perfect.
All right. We'll be right back with just this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality. Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks for joining us. Well, boy, I learned a lot tonight. I learned that I have some self-reflection to do. I'm going to change my playlist in my car. I've got all sorts of stuff going on. I'm hoping that our would-be authors out there got inspired. But any tips to give our future authors? Because I know we always say this is the show for readers, writers, and lovers of books. So let's speak directly to those writers. Anthony, how about you? Some tips?
Don't be afraid to self-publish.
Okay.
I know a lot of people say that they don't want to do it. It's a money pit, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I'm one of the success stories.
So you self-published and then you got a publisher.
Yep.
Okay, so you did that first. You got it out there, and good for you. How long did this book take from start to print, let's say?
To write the original version, probably 4 months.
Okay.
To print in total, like to get to where I am now, 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're here.
Yes, I'm
You're
here. That's what I care about.
And with a book launch tomorrow at Barnes & Noble in Manhasset, and after the book launch tomorrow, when you go back to the drawing board, you have 2 books you're in the middle of right now? Am I right?
2 books that are finished.
2 are finished already. Okay.
I'm in the middle of a 3rd novel.
Okay, so the 2 books that are already finished, they're not published yet.
They will be in the coming months.
Oh, okay, so they're ready with the editor and they're chugging it out.
Out on the press.
Okay, so in a couple of months we're going to have 2 more books. Are we having another Italian man? And
yes, we are.
Very Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
Very Harry Met Sally. Okay, so 2 more books on the docket, and you're working on a 4th right now. Now this 4th book, another Italian man with an American woman?
I'm deviating a little bit.
Okay.
So
Italian woman with an American man? What are we doing?
It's going to take place in Pennsylvania.
Oh!
In this town.
They're all moving out of Queens.
Yeah, we're moving out of New York. We're moving out of Queens.
Okay.
In this town called Roseto.
Okay.
And I watched a documentary on it on TV. I believe that it's a blue zone, so people live there till like their hundreds or something like that. And they attributed it to like their heritage. It's like something really wild.
Interesting.
But,
that's what you're working on.
Yeah, and I thought that it was a really cool place for a fictional story.
I love it. I've never heard of a place like that. Wow. Okay, so that one's what's on the computer right now. And we also want to encourage you to read.
Yes.
Okay.
Send me the recommendations. Send me the recommendations.
We will send you recommendations.
I will read.
Okay, and Rhonda, well, after all this celebrating, and you have a lot more cake to eat tonight.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
And birthday celebrating, and you have a book launch coming up. When is that?
That is March 12th.
Okay.
At Barnes & Noble's in Carl Place.
Okay, Barnes & Noble in Carl Place. So tomorrow, Barnes & Noble in Manhasset on Northern Boulevard. March 12th, Barnes & Noble in Carl Place. That's on Old Country Road.
That's right.
Both of them, I guess, are about 7 o'clock at night. Am I right? Okay.
Mine is 6 to 8, yes.
6 to 8, okay. So after all the fun and frivolity and the book launch, gonna write another one?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's already in the works.
Writing a book, it's like potato chips. You can't have just one.
That's
now,
right.
is the next one another nonfiction, introspective, philosophical book, or
Yes,
are we going like hot romance or something?
No, I was just saying that I have so many stories in me, and I feel as if the next book is going to be a story, probably my life story.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll let her slide on writing because we know she reads at least until after all of the fun and frivolity. So would you tell our viewers that they should write a book?
Absolutely.
Write a book. You get cake, right?
That's right. I mean, everyone has a story inside them. They do.
Agree.
Everyone has a story that should be told. And the way you tell it is going to be the way you tell it. It could be a book. It could be a book of poems. It could be a play. It could be...
Absolutely.
But you have a story.
Get it out. Get it out. Express your creativity.
That's right.
Write that book.
That's right.
I love that. Well, when you do write that book, please come on the air and join us on the Red Couch because we want to be there to celebrate with all of our future authors. So please find Sandra Lee, our guest author from Florida. She's out there enjoying the pool or something right now. Anthony Shirata.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Rhonda Mako, you can find their books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Their websites are on our website. If you forgot everything else I said, go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com and all of the links will be there. Please support our authors and happy reading and happy writing. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.